Good afternoon, YouTube. What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to do a little video on chopping these fenders here behind me. I know when I started Jeeping and when I first got my Cherokee, I didn't know how to cut fenders, and I attempted to cut fenders, and one of them looked like stop sign, like half a stop sign, and the other ones, they weren't even. So I just wanted to do a little video and show you guys how I cut my fenders. I already cut the other side, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that, and we'll jump into the video. Alright guys, so you can see that this is my cut fender here. And this is the factory fender with the flare. And I'm going to be ripping all this stuff off, guys, and I'm going to show you how to cut it. Alright guys, so real quick, I'm just going to throw you guys on time lapse. I'm going to rip this flare off. I'm going to rip the plastic line out. That stuff isn't too hard. You guys should know how to be able to do that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the time lapse and get to taking this apart. So that stuff's all pulled apart. There's these little studs that are here that hold these metal retainers for the fender flare, guys. Just a 10mm up in there, deep well. Most of them, they usually break off. So I'm going to slide these guys off and show you guys what's under here. There it is, guys, with everything removed. Like I said, all of mine broke. They never, ever come off. So you won't be needing these guys. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. Now, to the cutting part, guys. What you're going to want to do is you take your grinder. I've got a 4-inch cutting wheel on mine. And what I do is usually follow this line here, guys. I don't ever follow this line. Sometimes it annoys people and they'll cut it all the way, but you lose a lot of the structural integrity. And maybe I'll cut down that far. Maybe if I stuff some bigger tires, but for today I don't need to. And plus it looks tacky when it's too high. You can see all the inner fender well, and I'm just not that kind of guy. So I'm gonna set the camera up, guys, and show you guys how I cut these. Alright guys, so now to the whole point of the video is cutting the actual fenders. Guys, I've got a 4-inch cut-off blade here. It's for all types of metal. Obviously I've got my PPE. I've had way too many bad experiences with grinders. And I've obviously got my grinder here, guys. So I'm going to show you guys how I cut these. What I usually do, especially to start with, is just cut up in several vertical lines. You can do small little intervals. I'm going to go ahead and knock a few out and show you guys here. Alright, let me come pick you guys up, show you guys. Those are my cuts. And the reason why is I'm going to follow it up with the grinder now along my fender line, and as I cut, it should just drop these pieces. Like this one's cut a little low, but usually as you're cutting along, you can kind of just work your way and keep this bend so it's not jagged and raggedy. People like to cut these and then fold them in. I'm not a fan of those. I like cutting them off. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this camera up again, guys, and try to show you how I cut these off. Alright guys, I'm just gonna try to show you guys how I cut all of these small tabs out. There we have it. That's just a rough cut, guys. I'm gonna go up and obviously I follow it up with a flap wheel here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these and throw it on time lapse and show you guys the after one. I don't know if you guys noticed, as I was cutting, I wasn't cutting all the way through. Like you can see, this one isn't cut all the way through yet. What I was doing is kind of just making my mark, my line with the grinder as I was cutting, so that way I could just go back over myself and just slowly cut it. And as you see, I just knock those pieces off with my hand. So I'm gonna throw you guys on time lapse and finish the rest of this video here. Alright, as you guys can see, there's the rough cut there. I still have to sand it up, you know, and finish it up. But I wanted to show you guys this part right here. This is where it gets a little difficult for people because you kind of lose the fender line mark. So what I do is kind of just follow it in as close as I possibly can. I go a little wide right here, so when I get a little bit bigger of a tire, I can fit them. And I kind of just follow back down the line down here, and I'll usually just follow under right along here. I try not to cut these lower studs off because they really keep the fender support there. I know a lot of people cut off that first one and their fender becomes all loose and wobbly. But I like to keep mine, guys, so you can see where I've cut that line there. That's just a rough line. Some people tape it off, some people just draw with a Sharpie. I'm just doing this by eye. Don't really matter to me. It's all gonna get cleaned up. And but anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and chop this stuff off and check back in with you. Alright guys, lastly in the video, after you are done with your cut and you are satisfied with it, this is, I call it flap wheel, sanding wheel, whatever you want to call it. You just go ahead and fire her up, and you just ride along the edges, and basically you just work everything smooth and how you want it. Same thing with this side, guys. I just worked it smooth. So that's that, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and finish filing this down, sanding it down, getting it right, and I'll probably take off that black plastic piece there because it's not on the other side. And yeah, I'll show you guys the after results. Alright guys, so I got it fired up, turned that wheel in, and I finished up my last little bit of trimming. I also pushed this up in with a hammer a little bit, just for future references. I know it's gonna end up getting knocked around. But that's it, guys. Cutting your fenders is pretty easy. Just doing lots of those little slits. If you don't feel comfortable, you just do several of those little cuts. Back and forth, guys, and just slowly take your time, and it'll come out just as you want it. So I'm probably gonna end up painting this whole damn Jeep one freaking color because it aggravates me. And obviously waiting on my header panel. But guys, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below, and I'll try to get back to you guys as fast as I can. I'd like to know your input. I know a lot of guys use like door liner and stuff to put on the edge of their fender so it doesn't cut into the tire. It doesn't really bother me, guys. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say about the fender trimming. It's pretty simple. You guys can take it a little higher from where I cut. You know, I followed that small fender line. You could take it up to the flare line and cut that. People do all kinds of different cuts, but that's how I keep mine the cleanest and obviously the most simple. Guys, that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you guys later.